Hello there, this is Bill Shanaman. I thought you'd like to take a tour of my New Haven Railroad Hartford division. It's been a long time, about 4 years since I did an update. So let's get started. We'll start here in the Hartford industrial area. Got New England produce here. Behind that is the Hartford Ice facility. And I'm doing this on a phone, so just bear with me. Behind that is the Connecticut Beef Company. Got a little gas station here in Hartford. And here's the Hartford Yard office, right here. Got an HH660 sitting there waiting for his next assignment. Behind that is the cattle pens for the Connecticut Beef Company. And we'll go, this is the north end of the layout. This is where the trains come and originate from and go to. This is the Hartford Yard. It's 13 tracks, about 20 feet long. My whole layout is 25 by 35, double decked. So tonight we'll take a little tour of the Hartford Yard here. Show you some of this stuff going on. We use a car card system here for both freight and passenger trains. It tells you where it's going, what it's going to do, and the direction of travel. Each car has its own car card and a waybill. And that's how we get around the railroad to deliver all the goods, all the industries on the way. This is staged. I've got a session coming up, hopefully in May. By the end of May, all this stuff will be lifted and we can get back to doing a normal life. Gives you a lot of time to do some stuff though. Okay, coming out of the Hartford Yard, we're going to go right over to the East Hartford Engine Facility. Over here we've got a Haggart scrap metal, and of course the SO tank farm. And the engine facility itself. Now back here we've got some few more industries that I've put in. Molasses plant is back there, and the car shops are back here. This is the diesel fueling facility, and the diesel fueling rack right here. Each town that I have on my layout has a map that tells you what is where and what track it's on. Some instructions on how to do it. So you're not completely off in the dark. I do use NCE, and it's worked great for I'd say about 12-15 years, something like that. What we're going to do now is take a trip down to New Britain Yard. This is the New Britain staging yard. Just had a train come in. Wasn't supposed to be here, but it's here. So this is in the middle of the layout, even though it's on the lower level. These are all stage trains that are leaving for Hartford or New Haven. And the way it works is the through freights come into the yards. The yards make up the locals. The locals go out and do switching. And they bring all the cars back. And then they come back to their originating points, whether it be Hartford, New Britain, New Haven, or I have a hidden New York staging yard. And we'll get to that in a second. We're back up here to the top level. Oh, we run timetable train order here. So this is the lower level Hartford line trains. On the back of it is the Valley branch. Now the Valley branch is the upper level, and the Hartford line is going to be the lower level. And you'll see how I get to each level here in a little bit. These sheets right here give you information on what train is coming and going and what to put on it. Not to leave anybody out in the dark, I do have a lot of instructions for the guest operators. Okay, come back up here. This eventually is going to be Colt Manufacturing with the Blue Onion Dome, and I haven't gotten to that. There's Tower 214. And what we do is we're going out southbound from here, so everything coming out is south. All right. Well, hopefully I won't make you dizzy. Over here, let's take a quick tour of this. This is my work area / dispatcher office. As you see, there's a panel that lets you track the trains. All the paperwork you need. Each crew member has a car card. Those are the jobs. This is the train lineup. Now, this is one from our last session, so you'll see names on the side of who got what train. This is also my work area, like I said, and I am working on some stuff. There's my scratch building stuff, and you gotta have a chopper. Okay, and here's the rest of my messy work area. All right, let's go back out this way. And this area here for the stairs is my crew lounge. The all-important coffee cup and refrigerator. Gotta have that. This is my throttle corral. Now, I retired from the prison system, and I had one of my inmates that worked in the hobby shop make that for me. It's kind of neat. It's made out of a mirror. These guys, unfortunately, used to run on my railroad, but have passed away. So what I do is kind of tribute them, put their picture up here. And unfortunately, Mark here is the latest man to pass away. He passed away in February. But I keep them in, they run with us in spirit. All right, now we're going to go into the large room. This is the New Haven engine facility. Still a work in progress. So Walther's DCC 90-foot turntable. This is my diesel side right here. And of course the roundhouse. And this electric here was given to me, or I bought it from Al Lawrence a while ago, and so it lives on. It's a dual motor brass engine that I have to put a decoder in yet, and that'll come because I'm going to electrify the lower level here into New Haven and put up some catenary, but that's kind of in the future. So what we'll do is we'll come over here and we'll start our tour of the Valley branch, which is the upper level. Trains come out of here, and they're all headed south. See. This is my friend and I out pollywog hunting for frogs and stuff for the deal there. And we'll continue south to Weathersfield. And this is Route 15, I believe. Got a little settling pond here. I don't know if you can see that or not. There it is. Then we come into Weathersfield. These are all works in progress. And we come into Weathersfield, and here's the Weathersfield station. A couple guys chatting about things. Back behind them, it's Ballantine Beer. This is Church Street. That'll be my Gray Rock Bottling Company. I didn't have enough room for putting the Weathersfield Lumber Company on the north end, so I had to put it down here in the south end. Valley Coal and a Weathersfield Coal Company. The Weathersfield Lumber Company is back there. And this is Beaverbrook. And like I said, all the towns have industries of where they're going. And we continue around here. I'm going to go through a hole in the wall. And we come to an area that is dual purpose. This is actually under the bridge here is Old Saybrook. The bridge over the top is the valley line, and it continues around the wall. Now the reason it's like this is because I had to condense 4-track main line out of Hartford and simulate the 2-track main line in Old Saybrook. So what I've got going on here is the track right there in the back is a drill track. The second track right here is the Valley Branch main. And these 2 tracks here are the main up and down main line from Old Saybrook. They go down to all the way to Hartford. So I had to simulate that. This is the Y in Old Saybrook. There's going to be some bridges put in, as you can see back there. Once again, up top is the Valley Branch. Now we come in this is the lower part of Old Saybrook. We'll come back to that. Let's go back up here to the top of the Valley Branch. And what we're going to come into the town of Rocky Hill. Rocky Hill is something I started just a couple of weeks ago, putting in some scenery and stuff up here. Those backdrops have been beckoning me. My wife painted all the backdrops on this layout. But it has been telling me, you need to put some scenery up here and get some stuff done. So that's been my project, is up here. Besides making stations, I made a couple of stations, and I'm waiting for parts to come in so I can do the Rocky Hill Freight Station. Okay, behind that, where you see the tan, there's a hidden track. It's the airline. It's actually runs into Middletown, and I run BX 35 and 36, the coal train, up to Connecticut Light and Power in Maramus, Higginham, on that track. And we're going to continue on through on the Valley Branch, come down a little bit. We'll come back to Essex here, and Coming into the dividend section. This is Hartford Rayon. This is one of the biggest customers on the layout. It gets about 5 cars a day. Sulfuric acid tank in the tank cars and caustic soda, and eventually get some pulp wood so they can make some rayon. There's one of the Stauffer tank cars. Come down. This is a large facility, and it goes all the way down this way. And I like to name industries after some of my friends that helped me with the layout. So you're going to see a lot of those on the layout. Right there, that's Caesar Feed, I'm sorry. And that's named after one of my buddies that runs the Hartford Yard most of the time. We're down here at Clary Mill Works. Back there is the Middletown Meat Company with stock pens, and the Swift building is kind of filling in for a little bit. Come down here. I have an engine facility here in Middletown. This is going to be the Middletown Yard. Up here, I have a Lowenthal lumber going in there. And we keep things whimsical on this layout, you know, not boring, all stuffy stuff. So this is one of my fun industries, Stupid Assholes Plumbing Company. Your plumbing done by stupid assholes. Okay. And we come further down. We're continuing south. And we're coming into the Middletown Yard. King Brass, that's my wife's maiden name, so I put that there. This is the A&P grocery. There's some cars set up here ready to go to the meat plant. Remington typewriter up here. Michael Caine Brick Company. And this is a stand-in for the Middletown station till I get it built. And we're going to come down and go past this real quick. And that line in the back for the bridge is where it goes down the grade to come to the lower level of the upper level. What I had to do was fold the valley line over on itself so I could get it all in that I wanted to model. Now we coming down the hill, and there's 2 tracks here. And what we're going to do is come into the CL&E plant at Higgins-Maramus. That's Connecticut Light and Power there. Again, this is a work in progress. And then we come into Maramus Higginham. There was a quarry around here, and this is known as Cook's Quarry. It's going to be finished here in a little bit, but to give you an idea what it is. Here is Saybrook Road. We continue down. Now we're on the lower part of the Valley Branch. Okay, and what we're going to do is come into the town of East Haddam. I have a milk company in here, Farmers Co-op, and then the East Haddam station. This is a stand-in kit, and again, up there on Middletown, it tells you what's up there and how many cars can go in the siding, etc. Also, what I have on my layout, so you don't have to keep looking at the timetable, is they are on the fascia. So you can look at it to see if you have to get out of the way of another train. Okay, continuing down, coming into the little town of Chester here. And this is Monsanto. That's how they got their start, a little company like that. There's a little picnic area over here. And this is one of the projects I've been working on. I had to combine my switching. So this was actually 2 panels, and I've condensed it into one. Makes things a lot smoother. Well, as you continue down there, speaking of whimsy, we just got mooned. All right, coming down. This is Beaver Brook siding. And pretty soon I'm going to put some water and stuff in here to finish this. But there's the makings of it. And then we're going to come into the town of Deep River. And Deep River is below Dividend, you'll see. But I had to do it to, gain length. And here's the town of Dividend. And this is one of the new stations I've been working on. Just finished this past week. Well, finished it, but I'm working on it. I got the basic building built. So that's Deep River. And we come down here. There's a picnic area back there. And if you've ever ridden the Essex steam train, you should recognize this scene here. This is Kirtland Street. There's the house on the hill. This is Tate's Cut, as it's known. This is where the engine comes up and switches around the steam train. And I had some prototype photos to work from. So there they are. There's a bridge in here. It was further down the line, but I had to cover up this hole here into the next room. Oh, and by the way, you've just been mooned again. All right, now we're going to come into the big town of Essex. And there are a few industries here that you may be familiar with. You will not be familiar with this one. This one is the old Froth and Slosh Brewery. Get a look at the sign here. The foam is on the bottom. That goes back to an old joke about 40 years ago, and I kind of keep it alive. All right, coming into the town of Essex. This is a building stand-in for the E. Dickinson Shipping Company. It's a stand-in for the Essex station, of course. Burdock Coal. It's going to be over here. And there's another company in here. The Pratt and Reed Company. They have their own siding, so their building would be off of here. Pratt and Reed made piano keys for Steinway pianos. All right, continue on down. We're going to go around the Y, and we're back in Old Saybrook. So you can kind of see how that works. Okay. This is another industry that's named after my one of my friends, Todd, Larry Todd. He does printing, and they print up Model Railroad Craftsman magazines and that kind of thing. All right, continuing on. This is Saybrook Junction, where all the tracks are. There's the panel for the drill track, the Valley Branch main. And it goes under that bridge and behind the wall behind Wethersfield. Okay. So why do we do that? Well, we're going to take a little trip over here to Wethersfield again. Sorry for the fast movement. But behind there, it comes into my helix. It's a double track, 5-level helix, 2%, actually 1.99. Interesting story. we had a hobby shop and a Toys for Tots industry while I was working at the prison, and a CAD shop. Well, they found out about my railroad because, you know, I like to brag about it. And they said, I told them I was going to build a helix, and the CAD guy goes, well, can I design your helix for my CAD as a project? My CAD class as a project? I said, yeah, sure, go ahead. And then the Toys for Tots guy found out about it, and he said, well, can I build it for you? And I said, well, yeah, sure. So in a matter of, I'd say a month, I got this. It's actually 1.99%, like I said, double-tracked helix. And this is what connects the Valley Branch with the Hartford line. I thought that was pretty cool. Okay, as you come out of the helix, double track, you're going to come into South Hartford. The reason I did this is, again, you know, you have to make up for some things that you can't put on the upper level. So from Hartford to South Hartford, go down the helix, and we come into the area that has Fogel Furniture. That's another one of my friends. That track back there is the Bushnell Armory. G. Fox and Company Warehouse. And again, Swift and Company Meat Packers and Ice House. This is going to get changed, I think, to Cudahy. Cudahy had a plant just coming out of Hartford. So I may just put a Cudahy plant in here. Okay, we go through the wall here, and we come into the town of Newington. Newington has a nice big cement plant. I model 1951, and they were building the Connecticut Turnpike. And I just kind of took the Walters kit and decided this is what I was going to do with this area. Here's Tower 175. Back there is a power plant. Over here is Silas Dean Steel. They make the girders and stuff for the bridges, for that kind of thing. And I'm going to continue around, and that right there is the lower Y, and that goes in the staging, the New Britain staging. Next we have the town of Berlin. Back here I've got a trap rock company, and I'm going to put a whole bunch of other industries into this area. Eventually I'm going to put that, I think, up near Rocky Hill is where that's going to go. That's a quarry. I'm going to come into the town of Meriden. Some of the companies down here, Wilcox and Company, Meriden Flint Glass, Miller Company. This is the kit bashed Meriden station I made. Back here we have Fluger American Crucible. They make toilets, sinks, and stuff. Foltz Plumbing and Heating. He's another friend of mine. He owns a beautiful Santa Fe layout. And Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company. And there's an Armor Meat plant right there. Now, we're going to go through a hole in the wall and into the town of Wallingford. Of course, stand-in stations. Back here I had Heart Seed. There's Brock's Candy. International Silver. My sister-in-law used to work there. She's retired now. Sackett and Kane. They were one of the first drywall manufacturers in the country. And there's a lot of trackage and places to put stuff. Behind this wall is the New York staging yard. And these buildings are on magnets, and access to it, I have 3 or 4 buildings you can get to it from there. But these come off, you can get access to it. This is North Haven Junction. This is supposed to be a bridge that's going to go in, and these guys are driving the pilings. And then we're going to come down here to the New Haven area. This is going to be this is the New Haven creosote tie plant number 1. They make all the ties for the railroad. And this is New Haven Yard. It is a long yard. It's about 20 feet or so. There's 2 main lines that split it. And here we have this. There's 3 storage tracks, and then classifying yard in the back. And here's caboose storage. And 3 of the switchers. Takes 2 people to run this yard. I could have a total of 14 operators down here working. And we come around here. What we're doing is we're going south again. That's the coach yard. Here's the engine facility again. And we're back at the beginning here. So I'm going to turn around and take a look at the whole double deck layout. This is a track that goes around the outside of the helix, so it can gain some more mileage. But you can see the way it's on top of each other. The bottom level is, I believe, 38 inches. Top level is 58 inches. There's 20 inches in between the upper level and the lower level, so you have plenty of room to work. And of course, we're going to go back outside. There's a closed tower. And back into the crew lounge. Back to the beginning. Well, I hope you enjoyed your little tour here of the New Haven Railroad Hartford Division. Go ahead and comment if you like, or shoot me a message, and I'll try and get back with you. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.